The New England Patriots run game has not quite hit its stride, but it'll need to figure things out quickly as the Dallas Cowboys are headed to town. I'm Sierra Goodwill here with Evan Lazar and Alex Barth. Guys, obviously Isaiah Wynn's return to this offense should make a difference for Sony Michel, for James White, Brandon Bolden, all of the running backs really. But how much do you think it will affect the red zone and be imperative to their success against the Cowboys on Sunday?
Well, the red zone is the biggest thing right now facing this offense. The Patriots are scoring on 50% of their red zone drives. You add a 10% increase, a 15% increase, all of a sudden the offense looks a lot better. Right? You go from averaging, somewhere around 24 points a game to averaging 27, 28 points a game. Doesn't feel like much. You just need a couple of red zone drives to finish in the end zone, and all of a sudden the whole thing can turn around. Running the football down in the red zone and down by the goal lines especially is always the easiest thing to do. It's way easier than throwing the ball in. The Patriots right now also are only averaging 91 rushing yards per game. That's way down from last year. It's towards the middle of the pack in the NFL. Now, they're not going to get Rob Gronkowski back. They're not getting James Devlin back. They're not getting Dwayne Allen back. But getting Isaiah Wynn back can at least solidify the offensive line and those five guys, and hopefully they can spearhead a kind of a second half turnaround here for the running game. Shaq Mason, Marcus Cannon, and Joe Thuney have really started to hold up their end of the bargain on the offensive line, especially that right side, which I think struggled a little bit early on in the season. They've really turned it around those last couple of weeks, and those guys are starting to push people off the ball. So they really just need that left tackle position to get back to at least serviceable in the run game, get some athleticism back and some foot speed back to that position too, to get some of those runs outside the numbers as well.
And Sierra, to answer the second part of your question, overall, how much do they need against the Cowboys? I think they do.
Yeah, actually answer the question, unlike me.
That's what I'm a straight shooter.
Yeah.
When you play an offense as good as the Cowboys, universally the best way to stop them, no matter what your defense is, what their personnel is, whatever, is to not have them on the field. Right. And the way to do that is control the clock, control the tempo of the game. The Patriots have been able to do that with the passing game in the past at times, but it has to be the right scenario, and they just don't have the personnel to do that right now. So if the Patriots want to keep that Dallas offense off the field and control the momentum of this game, they're going to need to be able to run the football on Sunday.
And let's talk a little bit more big picture. I mean, there's been so much discussion about the wide receivers group and how banged up and fluctuating it has been throughout the season, but really this running game also hasn't quite found its groove. They're going to need to do so to compete at the next level and to be contenders for the Super Bowl, no?
Yeah, I would think so. And really, I think the biggest thing is kind of finding their identity for this season of how they're going to run the football. Last year, it was the fullback, it was Gronk, it was a lot of 21 and 12 personnel, and we're going to run it right down your throats. This team doesn't have the horses to do that, right? They don't have the tight ends, they don't have the fullbacks, and their offensive line isn't clicking like that offensive line was, and they don't have the movers on that offensive line either. Like losing a guy like Trent Brown, for example, who I think was inconsistent at times as a run blocker, but he was a big guy, and he can really move people off the ball when he was on his game. So they don't have that guy at left tackle, although Wynn's a really athletic guy. He's not necessarily a people mover. So they need to figure out what their identity is this year for running the football. I really think that this team is going to run the ball more effectively, similar to how if we harken back to like 2010, 2011. Spread the field, put the quarterback in shotgun or under center in a single back, get some light personnel on the field for the defense, some nickels, some dime defense, spread the defense out, and then run against lighter boxes. This is not going to be, we're going to put 8 in the box, we're going to put 8 blockers against you, and our guys are just going to outmuscle your guys like it was last year down the stretch. They're going to have to be a different running team than they were a year ago.
And the other thing that's going to help, I know it's like 50 degrees today and it's mid-November, and that's weird, but it's going to get cold here.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to Juwan Williams a couple days ago, and I asked him if he was looking forward to playing in the cold. He said no. I said, why? He goes, go find the hardest brick wall you can and run full speed into it. That's hitting in the cold. These guys are used to it here, and a lot of them have been doing it for a couple of years, but when you get teams like, even Baltimore coming in, or Dallas, for instance, I know they're here now, and it's supposed to be a little warm on Sunday, but when you get these teams who don't live in this every single day coming in, it gets a little easier to block, and we've heard a number of linemen here say a lot of run blocking is just the want to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You have to want it more than the other person. So when it sounds like a cliche, and you always hear fans say, oh, the cold's in New England, it makes the Patriots better. It does, especially in the running game. It does. So the cold weather, I know it sounds like a cop-out, like, oh, let it get cold and they'll be fine. That sounds like a stupid answer. It's actually not.
Yeah.
When it gets cold, it's going to help the running game.
on Sunday it's supposed to rain too.
Pouring.
This Dallas team is a dome team.
Yeah.
They don't play a lot of games in the cold rain, and it's going to be about 40 degrees and raining on Sunday. It's going to be really interesting to see if Dallas is ready for those conditions, because I don't think Jason Garrett is spraying balls with water and stuff like that like Bill Belichick does at practice. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it.
I don't think Jerry Jones would let Jason Garrett spray his footballs with water. I think he'd be like, why are you wasting good footballs?
This Patriots Press Pass is brought to you by betonline.ag. Head to their website, enter promo code CLNS50 to receive your welcome bonus. For all the rest of our Patriots content, head to our website at clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel at CLNS Media.